Good afternoon. This is All India Radio and I'm Punita Bakshi. With me is Anuja Kumar with the Midday News. The headlines. NIA conducts searches at premises linked to Popular Front of India in several states. Arrests over 100 PFI leaders and functionaries. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate National Conference of Environment Ministers in Gujarat through video conferencing tomorrow. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar inaugurates third edition of Lakh program in Guwahati, says debates and discussions are the soul of good governance. India bags UN award for its initiative to control and prevent hypertension under National Health Mission. World Rhino Day being observed today. And US Central Bank pushes interest rates to highest level in almost 15 years as it fights to rein in inflation. The National Investigation Agency is conducting searches at the premises linked to Popular Front of India in several states. Official sources said over 100 PFI leaders and functionaries have been arrested in the raids. The raids are underway in 10 states including Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Delhi, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. The searches are being carried out in a joint operation by NIA, Enforcement Directorate and State Police. In Kerala, the NIA took several leaders of the PFI into custody, including its chairman, OMA Salam, State President, CP Muhammad Bashir, and National General Secretary, VP Nasaruddin, among others. The PFI State Committee office in Calicut, district offices and residences of the current and former office bearers of the organization were among the places raided. PFI sources said the NIA took 14 of its leaders into custody in the state. Supporters of the PFI protested against the raids at different places.
Karnataka Home Minister Arag Gyanendra has clarified that the multi-agency raids against PFI leaders across the country are based on intelligence inputs, hence it should not be branded as action against the minorities. Speaking to media persons in Bengaluru today, the minister emphasized that the agency is acting on the basis of strong evidence available with them. On two BE graduates arrested from Shivamogga recently, the minister said that they had links with terrorist organizations. NIA and ED jointly conducted raids at several places in Karnataka, including Bengaluru and Mangaluru today, on those associated with PFI. The police took several PFI supporters into preventive custody for gathering outside the raid sites and shouting slogans against the investigating agencies. The Maharashtra ATS arrested 20 accused linked with Popular Front of India. Raids were conducted in Aurangabad, Pune, Kolhapur, Beed, Parbhani, Nanded, Jalgaon, Jalna, Malegaon, Navi Mumbai, Thane and Mumbai. 4 offences under sections of the IPC and the UAPA have been registered in Mumbai, Nashik, Aurangabad and Nanded for indulging in unlawful activities, promoting enmity among communities and conspiring to wage war against the state.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the National Conference of Environment Ministers in Gujarat through video conferencing tomorrow. He will also address the gathering on the occasion. Taking forward the spirit of cooperative federalism, the conference is being convened to create further synergy amongst the central and state governments in formulating better policies on various issues. The 2-day conference will have 6 thematic sessions on topics including forestry management, prevention and control of pollution, wildlife, plastics and waste management, and combating climate change. A collection of selected speeches of Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be released tomorrow at Akashvani Bhavan in New Delhi. The book, titled Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, Prime Minister Narendra Modi Speaks, portrays the Prime Minister's vision of a new India. The release function of the book will be graced by the Governor of Kerala, Arif Muhammad Khan, former Vice President of India, M. Venkaiah Naidu, along with Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur. Secretary of Information and Broadcasting Ministry, Apurva Chandra, and other senior officials will also be present at the event. The function will be organized by the Publications Division of the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. Here is a desk report.
Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas. Prime Minister Narendra Modi Speaks book reflects the hope and aspiration of people for New India, which will be achieved through Jan Bhagidari. The New India will be self-reliant, resilient and capable of turning challenges into opportunities. The book is a collection of 86 speeches of the Prime Minister delivered by him from May 2019 to May 2020. The speeches have been divided into 10 thematic areas. It focuses on Atmanirbhar Bharat economy, people-first governance, fight against COVID-19, emerging India foreign affairs, Jai Kisan Tech India New India, Green India Resilient India Clean India, Fit India Efficient India, Eternal India Modern India Cultural Heritage and Man Ki Baat. The books will be released in Hindi and English. It will be available at the sales outlet of Publication Division across the country and the book gallery at Suchna Bhavan in New Delhi. The books can also be purchased online through Publications Division's website as well as Bharat Kosh platform. The e-book will also be available on Amazon and Google Play. Manal Saeed, AIR News Desk.
Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar has said debates and discussions are the soul of good governance and free ideas must flow for social harmony. He was speaking after inaugurating the third edition of the Lakh Manthan program in Guwahati today. Mr. Dhankar said that intolerance of the other's point of view is very frequent in the present times. He said freedom of expression is non-negotiable and greater responsibility rests with the members of the civil society to protect the views of the marginalized. The Vice President said programs like Lakh Manthan are important as these celebrate the culture and ethos of our country. It is highlighting the northeastern states and facilitates a dialogue that will bring out our traditional knowledge and heritage for the other parts of India. He also said this will provide an opportunity for public discourse. Lakh Manthan is an august occasion where artists, intellectuals and academicians are drawn from different parts of the country, converge and brainstorm on the questions that haunt the society. Besides, the three-day event will have discussions, seminars, cultural events and exhibitions which showcase the rich diversity of the nation. The Centre has asked the governments of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh and Delhi to strive for achieving zero stubble burning in the coming months. Agriculture and Farmers Welfare Minister Narendra Singh Tomar yesterday reviewed the preparedness of states for management of paddy stubble burning. Mr. Tomar said 600 crore rupees have already been provided to the states this financial year. He stressed that states must chalk out a comprehensive action plan at micro level to effectively control the stubble burning. He directed the state officials to create awareness in the farmers that stubble burning leads to loss of soil fertility in the long run.
Health and Family Welfare Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia has said the COVID-19 situation showed the strength of the country's healthcare system. The minister said India not only successfully managed COVID-19 but also supported other countries by providing them medicines and vaccines under the Vaccine Maitri initiative. Inaugurating the States and Union Territories leadership meeting of the Indian Red Cross Society today, Mr. Mandavia appreciated the society for its commendable work. He said the motto of the Indian Red Cross Society, to help and aid humanity in times of need and emergencies, is very much like Indian tradition and the legacy of Seva and Sahyog. More than 217 crore 11 lakh vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Ministry of Health and Family Affairs said over 15,85,000 doses were administered in the last 24 hours. During the same period, 5,443 new COVID cases were reported, while 5,291 people recovered from the virus.
In Uttar Pradesh, monsoon session of the Legislative Assembly is underway and only women legislators are speaking and raising their issues. The whole day is reserved for women members to raise women-centric issues, which is happening for the first time in the history of the UP Assembly. The decision to reserve today for women members was taken at the meeting of the Business Advisory Committee of the House on the 19th of this month. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath is also present in the House to listen to the issues the women members are raising. Ahead of this historic moment, the Chief Minister had written a letter to all women legislatures and spoke to them about initiatives taken by the government under the Mission Shakti scheme. In Uttar Pradesh, the hearing in the Gyan Vapi Shringar Gauri case will start today in the District Court of Varanasi. This will be the first hearing after the court ruled earlier this month that a plea by 5 Hindu women to pray year-long at a shrine inside the Gyan Vapi Mosque in Varanasi, next to the famous Kashi Vishwanath temple, is legally valid. The Muslim petitioners have now filed an application seeking 8 weeks to prepare for the case before it is heard further.
In Tripura, polling for the by-election to the lone Rajya Sabha seat is underway. Voting started at 9 a.m. It will continue till 4 p.m. The result will be announced later in the day. BJP's candidate and former Chief Minister Biplab Kumar Deb and opposition CPIM contestant and MLA Bhanulal Saha are in the fray for the seat. The seat fell vacant after Dr. Manik Saha resigned to take charge as the Chief Minister of the state. In all, 59 out of 60 members of the State Assembly are eligible to cast their votes, as one of the members has been disqualified. The Department of Telecommunications has invited comments from the stakeholders on the draft Indian Telecommunication Bill 2022. The draft bill seeks to simplify the framework for mergers, demergers and acquisitions or other forms of restructuring by only requiring intimation to the licensing authority. The bill also lays down explicit statutory framework and regulatory clarity for the central government to undertake spectrum assignment. The underlying philosophy of the bill is that spectrum assignment should serve the common good and ensure widespread access to telecommunication services. The comments and suggestions on the draft bill can be sent on email ID naveen.kumar71@gov.in till the 20th of October 2022. Ministry of Communications had initiated a public consultative process to develop a modern and future-ready legal framework in telecommunications.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. NIA conducts searches at premises linked to Popular Front of India in several states. Arrests over 100 PFI leaders and functionaries. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate National Conference of Environment Ministers in Gujarat through video conferencing tomorrow. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar inaugurates 3rd edition of Lok Manthan program in Guwahati, says debates and discussions are the soul of good governance. India bags UN award for its initiative to control and prevent hypertension under National Health Mission. World Rhino Day being observed today. And US Central Bank pushes interest rates to highest level in almost 15 years as it fights to rein in inflation. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
न्यू इंडिया समाचार, नए भारत का संकल्प, सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास और सबका प्रयास। समाज में गरीब और कमजोर तबकों के लिए सरकार की चल रही कल्याणकारी योजनाओं और कार्यक्रमों से जुड़ी जानकारी पाएं। सरकार के इन कदमों के बारे में जानें और लाभ उठाएं। आकाशवाणी पर अब सुनिए जन कल्याण के सरोकार दोपहर 3 बजे से हर शनिवार। सुनिए न्यू इंडिया समाचार आकाशवाणी के साथ।
देश भर में धूम मचाए ज्ञान का ये उपहार। मोबाइल पे आजादी क्वेस्ट आया आजादी का इतिहास। डाउनलोड करे आजादी क्वेस्ट, ये लो जीतो ढेरों इनाम। मौका पाए जुड़ने का रेडियो और डीडी के साथ। सिर्फ खेल नहीं उत्सव है, आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव है। आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव है।
डाउनलोड करें आजादी क्वेस्ट ऐप और पाएं ढेरों इनाम।
In a significant achievement and recognition to the country's efforts against hypertension, India has won a UN award for its initiative to control and prevent hypertension under the government's National Health Mission. The India Hypertension Control Initiative, IHCI, which is a large-scale hypertension intervention under National Health Mission, has been recognized for its exceptional work within India's existing primary healthcare system. The IHCI won the 2022 UN Interagency Task Force and the WHO Special Program on Primary Healthcare Award at the UN General Assembly side event held at New York in USA yesterday. The award recognizing outstanding commitment and action of India to prevent and control non-communicable diseases and deliver integrated, people-centric primary care. Complementing the healthcare initiative, Union Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandaviya said the IHCI has strengthened Prime Minister Narendra Modi's mission to ensure health and wellness for all. In a tweet, he said the government is committed to building a healthy and fit India. The 10th India-Brazil-South Africa Dialogue Forum, Ipsa, Trilateral Ministerial Commission meeting was held in New York yesterday. The meeting was chaired by External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Brazil Carlos Alberto Franco Franca, and Minister of Health of South Africa Dr. Joe Fala were also present during the meeting. The ministers reviewed the entire gamut of Ipsa cooperation. They held discussions on topics of mutual interest, including cooperation in multilateral organizations, South-South cooperation, UNSC reform, 2030 agenda, sustainable development goals, climate change, countering terrorism, and financing for developmental activities. They also held discussions on regional issues like African Union, the Middle East peace process, and the situation in Ukraine.
External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has said Prime Minister Narendra Modi's practical attitude played a key role in transforming India-US relationship in the last 8 years. He was addressing a session at the Columbia University's School of International and Public Affairs in New York. The minister said, for nearly 5 decades, India looked upon the United States with suspicion, and its overall foreign policy assessment of Washington was of deep caution. But the country has now overcome the assumptions to forge a different relationship with America. He said the Prime Minister has no ideological baggage, which has helped India-US ties to grow in tremendous ways during the last 8 years. Environment, Forest and Climate Change Minister Bhupendra Yadav has expressed pride over India's long history of conserving one-horned rhinoceros. In a tweet on the occasion of World Rhino Day today, Mr. Yadav said rhino poaching in the Kaziranga National Park has gone down to the lowest in the last 2 decades. The minister asserted that the government is committed to conserving the mega-faunal species and also appreciated the efforts of all the involved persons in it. World Rhino Day is being observed on 22nd of September since 2011 to celebrate the 5 species of rhinos, namely Sumatran, black, greater one-horned, Javan and white rhino. The objective of the day is to spread awareness about all the rhino species and the work needed to be done to save them.
Assam has made tremendous progress in rhino conservation. The success story of various stakeholders in the state has been appreciated by all. Assam is home to nearly 2,900 rhinos. The number of poaching has considerably reduced during the past few years due to the government's efforts. The World Heritage Site, the Kaziranga National Park, has registered a rise of 200 rhinos in a recent survey. Under the Indian Rhino Vision, rhinos have been translocated to multiple wildlife sanctuaries and national parks in the state. A fake order is circulating on social media claiming that an additional installment of Dearness Allowance, DA, for central government employees will be effective from the 1st of July this year. The Press Information Bureau termed the order as fake. It said the Department of Expenditure of the Ministry of Finance has not issued any such order.
Senior BJP leader and Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman is on a 3-day visit to the Baramati Lok Sabha constituency of Maharashtra from today. It is among the 16 constituencies in Maharashtra where the BJP is making additional efforts to make inroads. Talking to party workers, Ms. Sitharaman exhorted them to win the Baramati Lok Sabha seat. During her visit, Ms. Sitharaman will take stock of the party's work in the 6 assembly segments that fall under that fall under this parliamentary constituency. As part of its outreach program, central leaders of the BJP are visiting constituencies and trying to strike a chord with people in the constituencies. Over the past 75 years since independence, India's largest public service broadcaster, All India Radio, has been the proverbial storyteller for crores of people across the country. All India Radio is celebrating 75 years of freedom with the series Azad Bharat Ki Baat, Akashvani Ke Saath. It showcases the journey of India since independence in various walks of life through the storytelling of All India Radio. In today's episode, we will bring you the story of policies which ensured food security in the country.
Food security means that all people at all times have physical, social and economic access to sufficient safe and nutritious food. India went through a green revolution in the late 1960s and early 1970s, which significantly improved its food grain production. The green revolution was followed by the white revolution under Operation Flood during the 1970s and 1980s. This initiative has revolutionized liquid milk production in the country, making it the largest producer of milk. In order to achieve food security in an equitable manner to all the citizens of India, Parliament enacted National Food Security Act NFSA 2013. It is the largest social welfare program of the world which ensures access to adequate quantity of quality food at affordable prices to people to live a life with dignity. Special focus is given on the nutritional support to women and children. Nowhere in the world a public distribution system as big in India has been run. It stabilizes food prices and makes food available to poor. PDS not only delivered during COVID-19 pandemic but also improved in many ways. Prime Minister Narendra Modi introduced Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana for free distribution of food grains to feed about 81 crore people per month.
साल 2014 के बाद नए सिरे से काम शुरू किया गया. नई टेक्नोलॉजी को इस परिवर्तन का माध्यम बनाया गया. राशन कार्ड को आधार से लिंक किया और सरकारी राशन की दुकानों में डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजी को प्रोत्साहित किया गया. आज संक्रमण के साथ साथ भूखमरी का भी भीषण संकट आ गया है. लेकिन भारत ने संक्रमण की आहट के पहले दिन से ही इस संकट को पहचाना और इस पर काम किया. इसलिए आज दुनिया भर में प्रधानमंत्री गरीब कल्याण अन्न योजना की प्रशंसा हो रही है. मकसद एक ही है, कोई भारत का मेरा भाई बहन, मेरा कोई भारतवासी भूखा न रहे.
UN World Food Program has hailed India's food security during the pandemic. Bisho Parajuli, Program Representative and Country Director, UNWFP, said the vulnerable and marginalized families in India were continued to be buffered against food crisis by its robust, targeted public distribution system. Parajuli said providing ration free of cost to 75% of the rural population and 50% of the urban population under Antyodaya Anna Yojana and priority households.
India's transformation in agriculture in the last 50 years from food deficit country with 50 million tons plus to now the estimated harvest prospects is about 316 million is a major transformation. The Food Safety Net program India runs assisting nearly 1 billion people is one of the greatest examples. Plus the various support program India has supporting small farmers, support in agriculture inputs, the financial provisions, the market, the whole supply chain networks. The World Food Program is really delighted for India's offer of partnership. And of course, India's support is absolutely warmly welcome. And in WFP, we want to see this only as a beginning.
Integration of Aadhaar with PDS helps in better identification of beneficiaries. One Nation, One Ration Card ONORC scheme helps digitization portability of ration cards, SMS-based monitoring and web-based portals, and bring ease of life to beneficiaries. The implementation of ONORC scheme was initiated in August 2019. This ensures seamless delivery of subsidized food security entitlements to all beneficiaries covered under the National Food Security Act, irrespective of the physical location. The ONORC scheme empowers the migratory population, labourers, daily wages, rag pickers, street dwellers and temporary workers in organised and unorganised sectors who frequently change their place of dwelling to be self-reliant in food security. Mera Ration mobile application has been launched to provide real-time information about ONORC to the beneficiaries and is available in 13 languages.
The U.S. Central Bank has pushed interest rates to the highest level in almost 15 years as it fights to rein in soaring prices in the world's largest economy. The Federal Reserve yesterday announced the increase in key rate by another 0.75 percentage points. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said that Fed policymakers unanimously agreed to raise the central bank's benchmark overnight interest rate to a range of 3 to 3.25%. He said the rate rises were necessary to slow demand, easing the pressures putting up prices and avoiding long-term damage to the economy. The bank said that borrowing costs are expected to climb more and remain high. The move comes despite mounting concern that the cost of controlling inflation could be a harsh economic downturn. According to media reports, banks in nearly every country are facing similar trade-offs as they raise rates to combat their own inflation problems. The United States and Iran clashed on security and human rights at the United Nations General Assembly. According to media reports, Iran's president demanded U.S. guarantees to revive the 2015 Iran nuclear deal. However, the U.S. president vowed that Tehran would never get an atomic bomb. Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi also struck a defiant tone at the UN Assembly by decreeing double standards on human rights. Speaking later, U.S. President Joe Biden reiterated his willingness to revive the nuclear pact under which Iran had agreed to restrain its atomic program in return for relief from economic sanctions. In 2018, the then U.S. President Donald Trump withdrew the United States from the nuclear deal and unilaterally reimposed sanctions that have hobbled Iran's economy.
On to sports. In women's cricket, India beat hosts England by 88 runs in their second one-day international at St. Lawrence Ground in Canterbury to take an unassailable 2-0 lead in the three-match series. Put into bat first, Indian Eves posted a record total of 333 runs for the loss of 5 wickets in the stipulated 50 overs, riding on captain Harmanpreet Kaur's unbeaten 143 runs off just 111 balls and Harleen Deol's 58 runs off 72 balls. This was visitors' highest ever ODI total against England. Chasing the massive total, the hosts were bundled out for 245 runs in 44.2 overs. The second T20 match between India and Australia will be played tomorrow at the Vidarbh Cricket Association Stadium, Nagpur. The match will start at 7 p.m. Indian Standard Time. In the series opener, Australia humbled India by 4 wickets at PCA Stadium in Mohali on Tuesday. Chasing a target of 209 runs, Australia made 211 runs for the loss of 6 wickets in the 19.2 overs.
Now let's take a look at the weather update across the country. The national capital Delhi will have generally cloudy skies with moderate rain or thunder showers and heavy rain in 1 or 2 places. The minimum temperature was 24 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 31 degrees. Mumbai will have rain or thunder showers would occur towards afternoon or evening. The minimum temperature was 25 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 30 degrees. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The minimum temperature was 26 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 36 degrees Celsius. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. NIA conducts searches at premises linked to Popular Front of India in several states. Arrests over 100 PFI leaders and functionaries. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate National Conference of Environment Ministers in Gujarat through video conferencing tomorrow. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar inaugurates 3rd edition of Lok Manthan program in Guwahati, says debates and discussions are the soul of good governance. India bags UN award for its initiative to control and prevent hypertension under National Health Mission. World Rhino Day being observed today. And US Central Bank pushes interest rates to highest level in almost 15 years as it fights to rein in inflation. And with that, we end the Midday News.